Now, the Global Alliance has recently developed, for the last 8 months, been working on a project which has just been officially launched and approved in June, which is called the Stockholm Accords. The idea of the Stockholm Accords is exactly what we're talking about and what Paul Noble was mentioning when he spoke before, and that is, where is the reputation of our profession today? We are like, as Herman Burson always says, we're like the cobbler's children, you know the cobbler's children, the ones that always go around barefoot. Okay, we're like the cobbler's children. We're not capable of doing PR for PR. And this is not very good for a profession that claims to help others, other organizations do PR. Now, it's a 2-year brief, only 2 years, because it won't last for more than 2 years. Actually, it's in some parts already outdated 3 months, because the situation is changing so quickly and so rapidly. And the idea is a brief to you, to each one of you, to your associations, but to you individually, as student, as scholar, as educator, as professional, wherever you work, to advocate the areas of major value that public relations brings to organizations and society. So this presentation is an answer to the question of the theme, what are we doing, what are we trying to do to cope with our landslide of reputation, let's put it that way. And what we did is we worked on a collaborative process for 8 months. We started in November, December of last year, we finished in June. We collected and spoke with 1,000 scholars and professionals from all over the world, from all continents, and we involved them through video calls, conference calls, meetings, synchronous workshops and so on for 6 months. And then in June we issued the third final draft of our Accords text, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then we approved this statement in Stockholm, where we had our World Public Relations Festival, and all the associations who were there pledged to try to adapt and to adopt, first of all, but also to adapt according to the specific applications principle I mentioned before, to their own territory for a 2-year program. And this program has embedded an evaluation and measurement process, which is also very topical because there is no public relations if there is no research, whatever it may be. We identified 6 areas. 3 relate to societal and organizational areas of value, and 3 relate to operational areas of value. They are sustainability, governance, and management, and they are external communication, internal communication, and the ever more important alignment of external and internal communication, which seems very simple, it is everything but very simple. Now, for each one of these areas, it's a very short document, it's 3 pages. Then of course there are about 100 pages of cases, research, bibliography, in order to allow everyone who wants to implement this or to try to implement this and to adapt it to its own specific situation. There are a lot of hints and cases which one could find and research and read in order to have suggestions on how to go about it. But basically it has 3 paragraphs. Every one of these 3 has 3 paragraphs. The first paragraph is, for example, sustainability. Where are we today? What is happening in the area of sustainability for organizations today? It's a 3-line sentence. So you can imagine getting 1,000 people to agree on a 3-line sentence is a nightmare. And of course, there are a lot of criticisms on the English language of this, and of course, it depends on whom, because every English is different from the other English, as we all know, so it's not very easy to cope with, particularly with the English-speaking people. Then the second sentence is, the second paragraph relates to what a communicative organization how the communicative organizations deals with this framework that we defined in the first paragraph. And the concept of the communicative organization is a direct reference to the work which the Scandinavian Management School has been doing for the last 5 years with our Swedish colleagues, in which they define what a communicative organization is. So that's a very interesting development of our public knowledge, which I trust you will want to look into. It is very interesting. And the third paragraph has to do with how public relations and communication management professionals deal with this communicative organization in the concept, in the framework of the first paragraph. So what does a public relations professional do to bring value to the organization in that specific situation? And this Global Alliance Stockholm Accord is a brief. It is not a declaration. It is not a manifesto. It has nothing to do with this, because in 2 years we will change it. The problem that what we're doing is a PR program for PR. So this is a brief. You know, when you go to a client, when you go to a customer, when you go to your employer, they give you a brief. And the brief that you have to interpret the brief. You have to adapt it to what you know, to your experience, and then come back to the solution. And here, if you want to come back to the solution, and we invite you very much to come back to the solution, because you will learn from others. What others are doing is this digital hub, which has just been put up about 4 weeks ago. And as it says, this hub is yours to help shape the future of public relations. And you can send in your experiences, you can post, you can comment, you can do both things. To post, you have to register, of course. To comment, you can comment directly. You can give us news on what is happening in various countries. We have at least 10 countries, 10 associations who have begun to adopt and adapt to the Stockholm Accords. There is New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, Italy, the UK, Canada, the United States, and others. And you can find all these things in the hub. And of course, you see up there on the right, up on the top, the final text, the process we went through, the first, the second, the third draft, the evaluation and measurement scheme, what you can do as an actor, and an example. And this is a thing which I hope you will want to not only visit, but also contribute to share with us your experiences. Students write, obviously educators do, because obviously this whole thing needs, it cries for a review of our current curriculum, because the curriculum needs to change given the new situation, and so on and so forth. Now, it is your turn, it's up to you. We hope that you individually, and you as an association, and you as an agency, and you as an educator, and so on, will want to adopt and adapt. By accelerating the associative sharing process of your course, and that you can use the hub at your disposal, by creating working groups. So far 10 have started, and we were working very hard in Italy, for example. And if somebody's interested, maybe later I can explain what we're doing there, but I can also explain what is going on in the UK, and I'm sure Paul knows about this as well. And that's as of today. One thing, two final thoughts I would like to leave with you. The first is that we need to recognize that PR thrives only with a competition of ideas. This sounds very banal, but you know very well that in many countries this does not happen. That's one point, and I think this should involve not only the associations, but also the individuals. We have to make sure to create conditions of a healthy and sustainable growth of the profession. We cannot help the growth of our profession if we just do anything that is asked of us to do. And finally, to operate, ensure a competitive, accessible, and sustainable market. And now I'm finished. It is our reputation that is at stake, and it is our responsibility that our reputation is at stake. We cannot give the fault to others. It is our problem, and we have to solve it. And we are the most aware part of the profession, and given the numbers that I said before, we are the ones who are most concerned, so it is our responsibility, and whatever everybody says about public relations and thinks about public relations is our fault. And up to you, nothing will be as it used to be. Thank you very much.